Dear students, in our previous classes, we have learned about the chapter called Indian Economy Primary Sector, and we have completed the chapter. And the last unit that we discussed was Public Distribution System and Food Security. So, today in economics, the next chapter that we are proceeding is Indian Economy Secondary Sector. I repeat, Indian Economy Secondary Sector. Remember, secondary sector is also called as industrial sector. I think we have learned the basic concepts of economics. Under that, we have discussed secondary sector is also called manufacturing sector or industrial sector. So, today's class we are going to discuss in detail about secondary sector. Clear? First, let us discuss the meaning of the term secondary sector. Remember, the sector that involves secondary activities or industrial activities which normally evolve after the initiation of primary activities are considered as secondary sector. I repeat, the sector that involves secondary activities or industrial activities which normally evolve after the initiation of primary activities is considered as secondary sector. In fact, secondary sector can be simply defined as manufacturing sector or manufacturing industries. You know that from primary activities we get so many what you call materials. Let us call them as raw materials. We are not in a position to use these raw materials as they are available. So we need to process those raw materials, convert them into finished goods. So these secondary activities, in fact, are more concentrated in the processing of such raw materials which we obtain from primary activities and then convert them into usable form. Example, manufacturing, construction, electricity, gas, water supply. See, these all we have given under the heading secondary sector. For example, if you consider manufacturing industry, any industry, let us say, let us take for example, cotton textile industry. The cotton textile industry requires raw cotton, that is from agriculture sector. So, raw cotton is a raw material and we process into finished goods in a manufacturing unit. Second example, what we have is construction. Any construction activity you take that require so many raw materials. Electricity, either which we generate through with the help of water, hydroelectricity, or let us say thermal electricity, thermal power, or gas, for example, petroleum resources, water supply. So these are all primarily associated with processing of such raw materials. In this year, that is in the year 2015-16, in this particular year, about 28% of our national output originated from this sector. See, when I say 28, around one third, almost around one third of our total national output is obtained from or originated from secondary activities. And about 21% of India's workforce is engaged in this sector and earn their livelihood. Remember, 21% are engaged in this sector in the sense that they get employment opportunities from this sector. And let us move on to meaning of an industry and industrialization. An industry normally means economic activity concerned with processing of raw materials and manufacturing goods in factories using both manpower and machines. Remember, we use manpower, that is labor, machines, that is technology, and process raw materials and convert them into finished goods. And such unit we consider as an industry. Example, just was telling about textiles. Thus, we talk about textile industry iron and steel industry, automobile industry, and so on. Now, there's an important term, industrialization. Remember, it can be defined as the process which involves substitution of machine power to manpower, which means that instead of using human labor, clear, we replace this manpower or labor, clear, by machines. That means it is nothing but mechanization. So industrialization means use of more and more machines in the place of manpower or labor. It implies growing mechanization of the production process in the industrial sector, and it also implies growing share of national output of the country. However, here we need to know two major terms, capital deepening and capital widening. First, you try to understand the meaning of these two terms. Sometimes you may get this question clear as differentiate between, or what are the differences between, distinguish between, similar. So you have to divide this particular question answer into two parts and write accordingly. Capital deepening refers to, clear, more capital is used per unit of output, in the sense that any production process we use labor force also, capital also, that is machines. But if you use more capital per unit of output, then it is called as capital deepening. Whereas capital widening refers to growth in the stock of physical capital with an expansion of industrial sector of the economy over a time period. When I say physical stock, it includes stock of machines, factory buildings, etc. Just one line remember, more capital is used per unit of output. I repeat, more capital is used per unit of output. Another, clear, growth in the stock of physical capital with an expansion of industrial sector of the economy over a time period. So please focus on this particular question. Learn both capital deepening and capital widening. You may expect this question clear either for 2 marks or for 3 marks. Focus much on this. Learn well. So let us move on with a new heading. What we have as interdependence between agriculture and industry. I repeat, interdependence between agriculture and industry. Remember, this particular question you may expect, clear, under the descriptive part. Learn this part detailedly. Clear. Let us move on to the next heading and learn in detail how both agriculture and industry are interdependent. Remember, agricultural development and industrialization are complementary rather than conflicting. I repeat, complementary rather than conflicting, which means that they are interdependent, interrelated, and dependent, let us say. They are helpful, complementary to each other. The development of one sector depends on another. Improvement in agricultural productivity is a precondition for promoting rapid industrialization, which means that in order to promote industrialization, agriculture has to be improved first. In fact, improvement in agricultural productivity through better methods of cultivation, irrigation leads to LEADS, leads. One D is missing. Be careful. This is leads to an increase in per hectare yield and PI. PI stands for per capita income in the agriculture sector. With this growth in PI, purchasing power of the rural people increases, because once when agriculture production increases, income, per capita income of the farmers increase. As a result, their ability to purchase increase, and hence they create demand for various industrial goods like bicycles, radio sets, fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, tractors, tillers, and so on. So that means agricultural development is very important. If it is developed, indirectly it will create demand for various goods, consumer goods. Unless there is a substantial improvement in agricultural productivity, the pace of industrialization is likely to be stunted. When I say stunted, industrialization may get affected, clear, if agricultural productivity is not improved. So, agriculture also meets the needs of an industry in respect of both for food for workers and raw materials for agro based industry. See, here there's one word, agro based industry. You may get a short answer question. What do you mean by agro based industry? This question is self explanatory. Observe this carefully. Those industries based on agriculture for raw material requirements, for example, cotton textile, jute industry, sugar industry, and so on, they require raw material. So, agriculture supplies such raw materials to agro based industry, and also it supplies food for the workers who work in the industry. Unless there is substantial improvement in agriculture productivity, the pace of industrialization is likely to be stunted. So, we discussed this particular point. So, remember, agricultural development is a precondition for industrialization. Same way, industrialization is also supporting factor for the development of agriculture. On the other hand, agricultural development cannot also move very far unless there is industrial development too. Clear? Release the population pressure on agriculture. That means you know that in India, especially agricultural sector, over dependence of population. Let us say a particular land can support 4 members. Let us say 8 members are dependent on that. It is overcrowded. So that excess population is released by creating enough employment opportunities in industrial sector. Let us say nearby a rural area or nearby a village, if an industry is started, as a result of expansion of that industrial sector in the rural part, it will create new job opportunities or employment. As a result, the surplus labor in agriculture is shifted from agriculture to industrial sector. Thereby, industries will release that excess pressure of population on land and to provide agriculture sector with modernized equipments. See, industries provide all kinds of mechanization required for agriculture. Let us say tractors, tillers, harvesters, threshers, or what we call combined harvesters, irrigation equipments, and so on. Even technical services also.